Befana flies tonight. Yes, it is 12th night. It's Epiphany Eve, and this is a celebration of La Befana. She has her origins in old Italy, going back even before the Roman Empire, back amongst the Sabine people. And many people knew her first as Strenua, the goddess of the new year, of purification, of transformation, of good fortune, of abundance and prosperity. Her special day was shared with the god Janus, the god of doorways, of thresholds. One face looking back, one face looking forward. January 1st, long ago, was her day. And in fact, our earliest notation of Strenua goes back to 153 before the Common Era. And we know that this goddess of time, the goddess of New Year, has been resilient and transforming across cultures and through the ages. So what began as the goddess of the New Year, the old wise one, started emerging as the Roman Empire became Christianized as the Christmas witch. That's right, tonight, in many places in Italy, including online because there's a pandemic there too, she will be flying around and sailing through the night sky on her magical broom. Some say she carries a bag, some say a basket or a hamper with gifts and foods and treats. Tonight is a night where Befana will be visiting and determining who's naughty and who's nice, and giving gifts accordingly. So how do we have a pagan goddess from the ancient Roman past turn into a Christmas witch and connected with Epiphany, which on many Christian traditions is when the Magi came and visited the Christ child? Well, she has been versatile and transformative, and as with so many old pagan folkways, she was too beloved and too hardwired into the Roman realm to have her disappear. So some new stories started emerging, and as the 12 days of Christmas came to be, she had her night at the last night, 12th night, right before the Epiphany, which is tomorrow. I'm doing a podcast about that on my Nature Spirituality podcast on January 6th in the evening. So I'll tell you more about that tomorrow for those of you who tune in. So yes, she transformed, and the story that came about her was that the Magi, the kings visiting the Christ child, they were on their journey, they were following that star. They came to where she dwelled and invited her to go with them. But she was cleaning house and really wanted to bring closure to that and didn't go along with them. and then decided later that maybe she should go along with him. So she got a whole basket full of goodies and headed out. Now, some stories say she wandered and wandered and wandered and never made it. Some say that the gifts that she was carrying meant for the Christ child, she started giving to human children of many backgrounds and places. There are some other variations of this story that basically have her mourning the loss of one of her own children and wandering around with gifts for her child who has died and gifting children with that. Well, I think we really have to back it up and go back to her origins as Strenua, as the goddess of the new year. And where did all that gift giving come from? Well, on January 1st, there had already been the Saturnalia in Old Rome. Then there was another festival, of course, and on January 1st was a time for exchanging gifts and giving offerings to the goddess. So what kind of offerings did people give this goddess? Well, figs and dates, but one of the things she really liked back in ancient times, honey, sweet. But now, in 21st century global reality, online and in places, in person, hopefully with masks and socially distanced if there's some indoor stuff happening, she brings gifts to children, candy. She really likes sweets. And you may want to give her an offering of some chocolate. And she likes wine. So that's another gift for her that you can give. She might bring various fruits. She might bring different presents. And as with so many other Yuletide and New Year gift bringers, if you were naughty, you got some coal. Well, here we are in the 21st century. Coal has a different connotation now, so you get a big lump of carbon footprint, which isn't such a great thing either. So how do you celebrate Befana's Night? Well, first of all, I'd invite you to do some research. And if you go to my Selena Fox updates page, and I've posted a link to some information where you can learn more, not only about some of the legends and lore from pagan times, Christian times, contemporary times, but some ways that she is being celebrated tonight. And in more recent times, I put a link to a podcast. I had Nature Magic as one of my podcasts a number of years ago, and Raven Grimassi and Stephanie Taylor, who are of the Italian craft tradition. And I honor Raven, who has crossed over into the other world, and invite him and his spirit to be here as we celebrate Befana's Night. Well, I did a podcast with Raven and Stephanie several years ago, and I put the link to that up on my website. So if you're wondering what to do for Befana's Night and you have an hour, well, you can tune in and hear us talk about Befana Night traditions, not only in Italian contemporary pagan and craft traditions, but in ways that she's being celebrated by people of many spiritual paths and orientations. Thank you all for tuning in to my Befana Night magic live stream tonight. So what kinds of gifts do I have in here? Well, I have something sweet. I have a whole cauldron full of chocolate. So I will be feasting on that as well as sharing some with Befana tonight. I'll also be honoring her in some of her many forms, and I have some images here on my Befana altar. Here is La Befana carrying her gifts in a bag. You'll notice she has a little lantern and she has her broom all at the ready. So that's one form that Befana has. Sometimes she has her gifts in what's known as a hamper or basket on her back, and she travels that way. And some Befana images, as I've depicted her, carry the gifts in a basket with a handle that you carry with. A friend of mine, Laura, gave me that Befana picture at a PantheaCon a number of years ago, and I collect Befana images and celebrate this multicultural, multilingual, international, interreligious being that embraces the new year. And we clearly need to invite Befana into our lives to gift not only us and our households, but planet Earth with better ways of being. And so, Befana, may you help dispatch this pandemic. Let it be a thing of the past. May you remind us of the sweetness of life. May you encourage good behavior, honesty, compassion, active listening, respect for science, collaboration, and may you give some corrective feedback to those who lie, who cheat, who try to drag other people along and brainwash them to believe things that are incorrect, who try to turn over accepted practices. So, Befana, we invite you to give corrective feedback to those who have been naughty and are continuing to be naughty. For Epiphany and Epiphany Eve should be a time of joy and delight, of new beginnings for the new year. So may the magic of Befana help us be nice and not naughty. Help us embrace truth, not falsehood that's dangerous and undermining of democracy. May Befana, her spirit that is enduring and eternal, be within us and around us. May we work together, whatever our religion, philosophy, or spirituality, for a better world. May we be honest with each other and caring. And may we do best practices to help put an end to the pandemic so that once again we can gather face to face. La Befana, we call to you and honor you. La Befana, we raise a glass to you. May you live on, not only tonight in our experiences, but live on within us and around us. May she bless you and bless all of us with good ways of being, protection, safety, wisdom, magic, and well-being. May this ancient goddess turned Yuletide, Christmas, New Year witch be a wisdom bringer and a wisdom sustainer. And wherever you may be, may you have a wonderful Befana night. And if you happen to see in your dreams, in your visions, an old woman flying on a broom, carrying gifts, know that that is the New Year crone goddess come to bless the world. So be it. Thank you all for tuning in. Happy 12th night, Epiphany Eve. And yes, Yuletide is coming to a close. And then what happens? Carnival! And getting ready for those of us with Celtic roots and traditions for Imbolc, bringing in the festival of the waxing light and the goddess Bridget. So bright blessings on this Befana night and in times to come. Much love. Be safe, be well, and thank you all for tuning in. This is Selena Fox in Wisconsin, signing off and wishing you a blessed Befana night and 12th night and Epiphany, which is tomorrow.